If you're looking for the answers, I still don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead, misinform, or misrepresent the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. But if you do, I'm going to talk about you. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator Show. My name is Andy. I am the aforementioned Sports Card Investigator. Take a look at this.
I find it fascinating that influencer has become a bad word to many. I believe the rise of influencers is the most democratic thing to ever happen in media and in sports cards. Media used to be controlled by large conglomerates. Voices were strictly limited to the few journalists who were lucky enough to get big corporate media jobs. Channels were limited and were controlled by the powerful. To a smaller scale in the sports card hobby, publications like Beckett and Sports Collectors Digest were the only sources of information. Then came along YouTube and social media. And suddenly anyone with a smartphone could express their views and build an audience. You now have a zillion choices of who and what you want to listen to. I find it ironic that some who are opposed to the mainstream media are also opposed to influencers. If you believe that a concentrated, powerful media is dangerous, then you should support the individuals that have risen up because technology has given them the power to do so.
So I came across a clip, or that clip, featuring Jeff, Sports Card Investor, on my feed. And I wanted to play it for you guys in its entirety to avoid any misunderstandings as it pertains to what I'm about to say. Didn't take anything out of context. I just wanted to play it exactly how it showed up on my feed. And while I respect Jeff's opinion, as I do everyone, I don't fully agree with him on this. So, certainly, while it's true that the rise of influencers in the sports cards hobby has allowed for a more accessible democratic platform for voices to be heard, as Jeff just so eloquently stated, it's important to note that with that power comes responsibility. I always wanted to say that. That was the perfect time because it's absolutely true. And with any form of media, there are those that will use their platform to deceive, mislead, and unfortunately at times just flat out lie. They just do. And I think Jeff would agree that these actions by those people harm the hobby and all of us that participate in it. And I do agree with Jeff that the term influencer should not have a negative connotation. As someone who creates content and has a very small following, such as myself, I understand that although minuscule as it may be, I have a little influence. But I always strive to use it responsibly. But it is important, it is crucial to acknowledge that some influencers can be harmful to the community because they abuse this influence. They abuse their influence. Now, as I talked about in my most recent video, transparency and honesty are crucial for influencers when it comes to promoting products or offering investment advice or arbitraging, buying, anything they do. And by being transparent and honest, we can build trust with our followers and ensure that they make informed decisions. So in short, the term influencer itself, that's not the problem. It never was. But it's how some of these individuals use their influence. That is what is so harmful. And it's also important to recognize that while traditional media outlets may have been limited in the past for these voices, those media outlets also provided a level of accountability, fact-checking. But that is not present in the social media world, especially in the world of especially in the world of sports card influencers. Just because someone has a large following, it doesn't mean they're an expert or that their opinions are always trustworthy. It means they have a phone or a camera. But I don't have to tell you guys that. Look, overall, the rise of influencers in the sports card hobby has indeed brought a diversity of voices and perspectives, and that is beneficial. But it is crucial My voice is cracking a lot lately. It is crucial to remain discerning and cautious when it comes to deciding who we should trust and who we should follow. Ultimately, the goal should be to support and amplify those voices that provide value, insight, and accuracy, regardless of their size or status as an influencer. It's not about blindly supporting any individual just because they have a big following. It's about critically evaluating their contributions and holding them accountable when necessary. Now, you guys know, as a content creator in this field, I used to keep my criticisms anonymous. But I feel now that I have a responsibility to hold accountable any influencers or anyone in this hobby that I believe are engaging in misleading or deceitful behavior. And I want to emphasize this, that I'll always make sure my criticisms are supported by evidence, facts, and not on mere assumptions or hearsay. And of course, anyone I talk about has an open invitation to come on my show and talk about it. And I will not hold my breath. But that's it. I thought it was real interesting what Jeff had said, and I don't find that at all, or at least I don't feel that influencers are a bad word in the hobby. Just the opposite. I think influencers, if you're doing it correctly and you're doing what an influencer should do, and you take accountability, you take responsibility, you have integrity, and you have loyalty to your followers, there's nothing at all wrong with that. So that's it. Next time, we're going to have some fun, and I'm going to point out some guys that haven't exactly been the most honest in the hobby. So, if you like what you see, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you don't like what you see, you have to, that's impossible. Just hit it anyway. And until next time, take care.